Welcome to On the JOB with your host, Lynn Parrish, editor of the Journal of Business. On the JOB is about the Inland Northwest business community, where you'll hear firsthand the backstories from the men and women reporters at the Journal of Business. On the JOB is brought to you in part by McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. Here's Lynn.
Welcome to On the JOB. I'm Lynn Parrish, editor of the Journal of Business, and I'm here today with one of our reporters, Virginia Thomas. How are you doing, Virginia?
I'm great.
Good. It's July 5th, and we just came out with a new paper. Hopefully you're watching this on July 9th or July 10th or something like that because you're out having fun. But if you're with us today, welcome. Summer's actually here.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
It's heating up.
So, Virginia, you and I were going to talk today about, you had a couple of really good stories in this last edition, but the one that we were going to talk about was Share Farm, or Share
Farm.
Yeah. So, Share Farm.
Yeah, so if you type in Share Farm into the search bar on your browser, you'll get connected with their website. So these two guys out of Whitworth, one who graduated last year and one who's still in a master's degree program, Vincent Peak and Eric Kobe, are starting this app that they think might kind of revolutionize how people get their food in terms of sort of farmers market style.
Sure.
So Vince Peak came up with this a year or two ago, and he noticed that there's kind of a gap for farmers market vendors where, from October through April, May, they can't sell their goods as much. It's hard for them to find buyers for their produce, and he said, well, let's try and fill that gap and make it easier for consumers to get, the goods that they're interested in from local vendors. So it's a location-based app, so no matter where you are, whether it's Spokane or Boise or Portland, when you pull it up, you'll see the vendors around you that have signed up on the app, and you can see the kinds of things they sell and all that good stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So it's giving consumers a way to connect with farmers market vendors, but the inverse of that is it hopefully will extend the season to the extent possible for the vendors at the farmers markets.
That's the idea, is to make it a little bit better all the way around.
Yeah, that's interesting. So Peak and Kobe came up with this meeting at Whitworth, is that right?
Yeah, this past December, that's how quickly this thing has grown. They met through Whitworth's director of graduate studies in business.
Sinead Voorhees, right?
Yes, Sinead Voorhees over there.
Yeah.
And got together and started working on this app, and it's just about ready they have a beta version out right now. July 20th, they're going to have the full version launch. So in that version, you'll be able to search for specific types of foods and other goods. You'll be able to rate vendors, and I think what they're really excited about is you'll be able to actually pay for your food or jam or whatever through the app.
Sure.
And then they haven't quite refined their system of actually picking up the goods.
Sure.
Right now, you'll probably have to arrange with the vendor for where to pick it up or if they can maybe deliver it.
Craigslist style.
Sort of, yeah. They were saying that's actually the only way that most people could really sell their goods in the off season before is through Craigslist. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not entirely surprising because, like you said, it is location based, and so people will usually be searching within 50-mile radius tops for places for vendors to connect with. So are they starting in certain markets? I assume they have a presence in Spokane. How does that work?
Yeah, so they're kind of focusing on Spokane because they think that Spokane is really ideal in terms of the kinds of people who go to farmers markets here.
Sure.
There's a pretty wide variety. But they're also already looking to expand to other places. They're trying to get into Boise, Portland. They have their eyes on some pretty big markets.
Sure.
They're looking to be pretty disruptive to those markets.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've got a little capital, right? Didn't they get some venture capital?
Yeah, so they got some funding through Mind to Market.
Okay, great.
And some private investments and stuff like that. Yeah, they've got, I think it was like 50,000 or something in funding so far.
How many users at this point?
When I talked to them,
I know it's in the beta.
Yeah, the beta. When I talked to them, which was a couple of weeks ago, they had 700 and growing.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Now we had another story in the paper this time, written by our colleague, Samantha Pione, about Vets on the Farm. And isn't there a tie-in between Share Farm and Vets on the Farm?
There is. Vince Peak is actually a veteran, so he's been involved in Vets on the Farm and also trying to get this Share.farm thing going.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Small town.
That's interesting stuff. Well, great story on Share.farm. Share Farm. Can we just pause? Share Farm.
Share Farm.
Yeah. And a lot of other good ones. I don't know if you want to touch briefly on your Zaycon Foods story, but we led the paper with it this time. It was top-notch reporting there. Do you want to talk just a minute or so about that?
Yeah, it's kind of complicated. There's a lot to it. But we recently reported that Zaycon Fresh had suspended operations, and there wasn't any kind of reason forthcoming, and they still haven't given any reason. But we happened to come across some court documents, and basically what's happened is about a year and a half ago, they got a lawsuit from their former CEO, Richard Braddock, who is alleging that he was wrongfully terminated. They fired him as CEO, and that there was some securities fraud going on. And it's complicated.
Sure.
And of course, a lot of it is just allegedly what people have been saying, but. Yeah. He's seeking $6.5 million in damages and wants to be reinstated as CEO. So there's some serious stuff going on back there.
Right. And it's something that's been going on for over a year and a half at this point.
Yes.
I think it's important to note when you hear securities fraud, this is a private individual accusing other private individuals. So it's not the same as a government investigation or a criminal investigation, that sort of thing. So take that for what it's worth. But that is he spells out pretty clear what he feels happened in the court filings.
Yep.
So you can check that out. So look for Virginia's story on Zaycon. Look for her story on Share Farm, and a few other things at SpokaneJournal.com. Thanks for watching today.
The following is sponsored by our friends and community supporters at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. McNeese Wheeler is a boutique law firm in Spokane, handling matters in both Washington and Idaho. Areas of law include business law, wills, trusts and estates, family law, personal injury and wrongful death, and real estate matters. For your full-service legal needs, contact McNeese Wheeler Attorneys.
Hi, this is Kurt Stockwell with Well Dressed Walrus. We are a local website design and development company here in Spokane. What we do is build beautiful, usable websites for local businesses. A website needs to be beautiful, it needs to be usable for your users, your customers, and yourself. Contact us anytime. We'd love to talk with you about your online marketing.
The following is sponsored by our friends and community supporters at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. McNeese Wheeler is a boutique law firm in Spokane, handling matters in both Washington and Idaho. Areas of law include business law, wills, trusts and estates, family law, personal injury and wrongful death, and real estate matters. For your full-service legal needs, contact McNeese Wheeler, attorneys.
The economy is getting stronger, banks are lending again, and interest rates are at historic lows. Now is a great time to buy your dream home. The caring and knowledgeable professionals at Homes for You have been helping people just like you for over 20 years. They take the time to listen to what you want and will help you find just the right home in Washington or Idaho. Real estate is what we do at Homes for You, 928-5782, or visit online at homes4uspokane.com.
Welcome to On the JOB with me, Lynn Parrish. I'm the editor of the Journal of Business, and I'm here today with one of our reporters, Samantha Pion. What's up, Sam?
Nothing.
Yeah, good. So we just had a new edition come out, a new issue of the paper come out, and Sam did a great, extensive story about a plan to start a revitalization effort in Cheney. And so they're very early in this process, just really getting it started. But Sam, why don't you tell us what they're looking to do in downtown Cheney and who's looking to do it?
Right. So there's 3 main players that are on the board. The biggest one is going to be the Cheney Merchants Association, which is kind of the business association down there, and they're leading the efforts. The city is also involved, and also the university to an extent as well. And so what's going on is they've identified some specific problems that they want to work out to start with. It is super new. They just met with what's called the Main Street Program. It's a nationwide program. I believe they're headquartered, don't quote me, I want to say Chicago.
Yeah, sure.
And
I think you're right.
Yeah, okay. And so they met with representatives from the Washington branch of that, and learned a bit about how to revitalize certain areas in a town. And what they got from that is that it is, when you revitalize downtown specifically, there is a trickle effect that can happen.
Sure.
So you revitalize downtown, and we have seen this, I think, a bit with Spokane and the growth in the past few years. But downtown is strong, and if that's healthy, then you're just going to naturally, inherently see other parts of downtown be moved into as well. Other parts of town moved into as well.
Yeah, sure. So when we talk about Cheney, I think it would be a good to kind of step back a little bit, because for those of you who don't spend a lot of time in Cheney, it might be hard to picture the downtown, right? And that brings up one of the challenges, which is a lot of people peel off the main drag before they actually get to downtown. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's the thing. So you're going to the college. I assume many people have been to the college. You go to the college, and then there's that Safeway right there, and then you take a right. So downtown is actually, you go past the Safeway, and then you'll just run into it. It's this little stretch from C Street to F Street on First, and it's easy to miss. It's tiny.
Yeah, sure. And so if you're going to Eastern Washington University, oftentimes you won't even hit downtown.
You won't even hit it.
Which is one of the challenges they have. What's another one of the challenges that they're looking at with their downtown?
So like you said, bringing awareness to and traffic to downtown is a big one. But also they were talking about how some of the buildings are run down, and they would like to take care of that. And then in addition to that, a number of buildings are vacant. And so those are 2 problems that they immediately wanted to address. And they do have some plans in the works already, nothing too serious right now. They're thinking, they are planning on doing a winter festival in December. Medical Lake also has a winter festival, so they're trying to work around that so that they don't steal any of Medical Lake's thunder.
Sure.
So it'll be at a different time. But they already have events in Cheney. According to Labar, the president of the Cheney Merchants Association, he owns the Mason Jar on F Street.
Right.
And he said they have a tree lighting event that they do every year. They'll have a late night shopping event. And so they just are planning on just sort of connecting those things and having different vendors come in and just have sort of a winter festival,
Right.
essentially. So that's one thing they're planning. They plan to meet sometime, or are hoping to meet sometime this month, the members of the CMA, the board members, and just sort of go over what they learned and just kind of budget for the winter festival and just go over different goals to implement the revitalization.
Yeah. You know, it's an interesting town. It's, I think we said it was 11,900 people.
Yeah, small.
And it really a farming community that had a commuter college that has really grown quite a bit over the last 20 years to where it's become as much of a college town as it is a farming town. 20 minutes from downtown Spokane, so a lot of potential there for them. What are the next steps that they're looking at in this process?
So when you mean next steps, do you mean in the revitalization, like what they're,
Yeah.
They, so like I said, they're looking at just meeting and just sort of recapping what happened mid-July. And then they are planning on working with the city of Cheney and then the university. I spoke with the mayor, Chris Grover, and he
Sure.
had stated that he thinks that there's some good energy going on with the Cheney Merchants Association right now, and that how far they get and what they want to happen really ultimately depends on the business owners and just the proper communication channels being opened.
Sure. You know, when you think about downtown, if you think about downtown Spokane, it really isn't comparable to a downtown Cheney. But if you think about some of the like improvements that have been made in the East Sprague Business District or the South Perry area, it might be more comparable to that. It would be interesting to see.
Yeah, I went to downtown Cheney for this story, and
Sure.
I personally think that it's adorable.
Right,
Not
right.
in a condescending way. Like I
No,
really loved
I
it.
get it,
It's
yeah.
totally the place that I would be into, and I can really see the benefits of a revitalization effort. It can make a big deal there. So.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So let's see, what else did you do this time? You did a couple of pretty interesting stories.
So like you were talking with Virginia about, I did Vets on the Farm.
Yeah, right,
I
right.
loved that one. Okay, smart farms smell so good to me. I just love farms. And so I met with Vicki Carter. She's the director of the Conservation District. And she took me on a tour of the incubator farm that they have here. So it's part of the Vets on the Farm program. It has expanded. It started in 2015 and it's expanded, or I guess it would be more accurate to say touched veterans in seven different counties.
Right.
But it did start in Spokane. And I went up to their incubator farm. It's their only one so far. It's
Right.
on the Palouse Highway, and just met some veterans and just saw kind of what they do. It's about 3.5 acres large, the farm, and they have a greenhouse, they have a hoop house, they have some beautiful plants that are already under production, and they're getting some more land ready to produce next year. And next year everything will be organic as well, or grown with organic practices.
Okay,
Excuse me.
great. Yeah, good. And they have, not to spend too much time on it, but they also have come up with a branding of the products that are grown by vets. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it's actually really cool. I wish I brought it with me, but it's a circle, and
Yeah.
if I remember, it is red, white, and blue. And there's a,
Sure.
I don't know the ranks off the top of my head. I would guess, I don't know, but a soldier, and he's saluting, and there's stars, and it says homegrown by heroes is what it is.
Yeah.
And if the sign says homegrown by heroes, that means at least 60% of that product has been grown or taken care of or manufactured by a vet. So, and so they work with Mama Torre Salsa, a local salsa company here, and they provide.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah,
right.
right.
And they provide plenty. I mean, they provide lots of salsa, so they grow a bunch of cilantro, tomatoes,
Sure.
things like that, and and then they grow other things as well. Not potatoes yet. I think they're looking into that. And they don't have any ranching yet. No animal husbandry. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's on its way. And a story about Linked Foods, which I thought was fascinating.
Yeah,
and-
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, a couple other ones. So check out Sam's work. Please go to SpokaneJournal.com and see all the hard work that Sam and our other colleagues have been doing. I think that's going to wrap it for now.
Yeah.
Let's get back in the sunshine.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks, everybody.
On the JOB is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content. On the JOB is brought to you by our friends at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. Ask Lynn a question, recommend a guest, and hear this program again online anytime at SpokaneTalksOnline.com.